Hello everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to write sine and cosine functions given a graph. So in order to write sine and cosine function, you need to find the value of A, which is amplitude, B, which is the horizontal dilation, H, which is the phase shift, and K, which is the midline or vertical shift, right? Now, first we need to find the amplitude. So the amplitude is going to be absolute value of maximum subtract minimum divided by 2. Alright, so the maximum right here is going to be 0, right? So A equals absolute value of 0 subtract -4 over 2, right? So it turns out to be 4 divided by 2, it could be 2. Now, the midline is K equals maximum plus minimum divided by 2. So maximum is 0, minimum is -4 plus -4 divided by 2. So it's going to be -2. So the midline is -2, so I'm going to draw the midline. So this guy is y equal to -2. Alright. Now we just get the amplitude and the midline done. Now we need to find the horizontal dilation, which is B, right? So in order to find this one, we need to use the formula right here. Alright, P equal 2 pi over B. Now the P is the distance between hill and hill, or valley and valley. So the hill right here and the hill right here, right? So it's gonna be 4 pi, right? So the P is 4 pi. Now 4 pi equals 2 pi over B, right? So then B equals 2 pi divided by 4 pi. It's gonna be 1/2, right? Alright, so I'm done with A, B, and K. Now I need to find the phase shift right here. Alright, so remember that the sine function always starts from the origin. Alright, so it's gonna be like this. The cosine function always starts from the maximum, right? Alright, now we have infinitely many answers for the sine and cosine given a graph. So here's a few possibilities. Now if I need to write the cosine function, so it's going to be y equals A equals 2, so it could be 2 cosine of 1/2, right? B right here equals 1/2 times S. Now I need to leave the blank right here. Plus K. K equals -2, so I'm going to subtract 2, right? Now, the sine and cosine function, they have the same amplitude, horizontal dilation, and vertical shift, right? The only thing different right here is the phase shift, right? Now, we look at this one right here. We know that the cosine function always starts from the maximum right here, alright? So you see that this one is the minimum, which is the function reflect over the midline, right? Actually, the original function is going to be something like this. Because the original function reflects over the midline, right? So the A value right here should be negative. Alright, now next one, because the function starts right at the y-axis, you see that? So then the phase shift should be 0. So you don't need to write anything right here. You leave it plain. Alright? So this is one answer. Now, there is another answer. If I pick this point as the initial point, right? So the function starts right here, and then it's gonna be end up right here, which is the function shift left 2 pi units, right? So it's gonna be y equals 2 cosine of 1/2 times s. In this situation, it's gonna be plus 2 pi. Close parenthesis minus 2. Alright, keep that in mind. A, P, and K should be the same. The only thing different is the phase shift, which is H right here. Now, in this situation, we don't have the negative sign in front of A because the function does not reflect over the midline, right? It's right here. Depends on how you start the function. So keep that in mind. Alright. Now, there are possibilities. If I need to write the function in terms of sine, so what should I do? So I have y equals 2 sine parenthesis 1/2 parenthesis s, right, close parenthesis minus 2, right? Now I need to fill in the blank right here, the phase shift right here. Now sine function start from the origin right here, or the midline. In this situation, it's gonna be the midline. So I'm gonna start right here, the initial points right here. And you see that? Obviously, the function starts right here. Now it's go over here, which is it's shift to the right pi units, right? So basically, you subtract pi, right? Anything related to s value, think opposite. It is half subtraction, which is it's shift to the right. It is addition, is shift to the left. So this one should be 2 sine 1/2 s minus pi minus 2, right? There is another possibility. So y equals 2 sine of 1/2 times s close parenthesis minus 2. Alright, so then I need to fill in a blank right here. Now, what if I start from here? If I start from here and you see that originally it's going to be right here, right? Alright, so now it's shift pi units to the left, right? And then the sine function starts from the midline, go up to the maximum, right? Now this go down, which is reflect over the midline. And then you have the negative side right here. Alright, now it shift pi units to the left, so it's going to be plus pi. Alright, now if you graph this one on the x and y coordinate plane using decimal, you will see that they end up with the same graph. Now let's move on to the next example. Alright, so basically I need to find the amplitude A, right? So the maximum right here is going to be 5 units, right? The minimum right here is going to be 1 unit, right? So amplitude equal maximum subtract minimum divided by 2, which is 5 subtract 1 divided by 2 is going to be 2, right? Now the midline maximum plus minimum divided by 2, which is 5 plus 1 divided by 2 is going to be 3, right? Now next one, we need to find the period. The period is the distance between two s value of the maximum or two s value of the minimum, right? Now, because the graph is only give you one maximum and one minimum, right? And they next to each other. So the distance from maximum and minimum right here is going to be half of the period. So keep in mind, so period divided by 2, right, equals the distance from here to here, which is 2 pi, right? So 2 pi. Now you need to find the period, so you're going to multiply both sides by 2. So P equals 4 pi, right? Now we're going to use this formula to find P, right? So B equals 2 pi divided by 4 pi, right? Because the period equals 2 pi divided by B, right? So it's going to be 1/2. Alright, now we substitute over here and we need to find the phase shift and we're done, right? So I have the first one. Now I need to write this one in terms of sine to see what happens, right? So y equals 2 sine of 1/2, right? Of S, I leave the plane right here, close parenthesis, and then 3, right? And then I have y equals 2 cosine of 1/2 parenthesis S, close parenthesis, plus 3, right? Now, the sine function always starts from the midline, right? So if you start from here, and then the phase shift should be 0, right? So we don't need anything right here. We just leave it plain. We good. Now, if we start from here, and then the cosine function always starts from the maximum, right? So it should be right here, right? It should be right here. Now it's over here, which means it shifts to the right pi unit. So basically, you subtract pi, right? Now you could pick this point as a starting point, or this point as a starting point, this point as a starting point. So you have infinitely many answers when it comes to sine and cosine function. Alright, so I leave these 3 points right here for you to practice. So after you find the equation, you just put every single thing right here on the dash mode and you will see it, they are overlapping. Now let's move on to the next example. We need to find A. So A equals maximum subtract minimum divided by 2. So maximum is 2, right? Minimum is -4, right? So 2 subtract -4 divided by 2, right? So it could be 3. Now, the midline K equals maximum plus minimum divided by 2. So it could be 2 plus -4 divided by 2. It could be -1. So I need to draw the midline y equals -1, right? Alright, so I label this line y equals -1. Now, I need to find the value of b, right? So value of b depends on the period. So the period is the distance between two maximum or two minimum, right? So the period is from here to here. So it's going to be -3 to 5, right? Alright, so the period is going to be 5 subtract -3, which is 8, right? Period equal 8. So b equals 2 pi divided by 8. So it's going to be pi over 4, right? So b equals pi over 4. Now, I need to write y equals the amplitude is equal to 3. So it's going to be 3 cosine of pi over 4 parenthesis as I leave that blank right here because I need to fill out the phase shift. Alright, -1. right? The second equation should be y equals 3 sine parenthesis pi over 4 times s, leave the blank, minus 1, right? Now, if I need to write this equation in terms of cosine, alright, so the cosine function starts from the maximum right here, alright, obviously it should start right here, right, but now it moves to the left. How many units? It's gonna be 3 units, right? So this guy must add 3, right? Now, because the sine function starts from the midline, right? So the midline, you could pick this point right here, right? So you see that it's going to be 3 right here. Alright, so it's moved to the right 3 units, right? So you need to subtract 3, right? Now, you could pick this point right here, right? If you pick this point right here, and you see that the sine function starts from the midline, and this one upside down, right? This one is the reflection of this function right here over the midline, right? So you have y equals negative 3 sine of pi over 4, right, as, leave the blank, minus 1, right? You see that if you pick these points, the sine function shifts to the left 1 unit, right? So this guy must add 1, right? Shift to the left 1 unit and reflect over the midline. That's why we have the subtraction sign right here. Alright, so you could write different function by picking this point, right? This point, right? Or the minimum right here, right? If you pick this point, it's going to be cosine function. If you pick this one, it's going to be cosine function. If you pick this point, it's going to be cosine function. So you have infinitely many solutions for this graph in terms of sine and cosine. Now let's move on to the next example. We need to find A, right? So A equals maximum subtract minimum divided by 2. So A equals 3 subtract 1 divided by 2, right? And it's going to be 1. Now, you need to find the midline. Maximum plus minimum divided by 2. So K equals 3 plus 1 divided by 2. It's going to be 2, right? Now, you need to find the period, right? So period is the distance from here to here, right? So it can be pi over 3, right? So the period equals pi over 3. Now we use period to find b, right? So pi over 3 equals 2 pi divided by b, right? So then I'm gonna cross multiply, right? Cross multiply. So I have pi times b equals 6 pi. Now divide both sides by pi. So b equals 6, right? So then I have a, b, k, and it phase shift, right? So I write the sine cosine function right here. So y equals sine, right? A equals 1. I don't need to write 1, right? Sine of 6 parenthesis s plane 2, right? Don't forget to sketch the midline y equals 2, right? Now I can write y equals cosine of 6 parentheses s, leave the blank, close parentheses, plus 2. Now I need to find the phase shift and I put it over here and I'm done, right? So for the sine function right here, you know that the sine function starts from the midline, right? So you could start from here. Now you see that the period is pi over 3, right? So the distance from here to here is going to be 1/4 of the period. Keep that in mind. So you take pi over 3, you divide by 4. It's going to be pi over 12. Now the sine function starts from the midline, right? So it should be right here, right? Now it shift left pi over 12 units. So you need to add pi over 12, right? Now, when it comes to the cosine function, right? Cosine function, you can start from the maximum right here, right? So if you start from the maximum right here, you don't need to shift, right? So this one should be nothing, right? So you just leave it blank, right? You just remove this one. Now, what if I write another sine function? So y equals sine of 6 s blank close parentheses plus 2. Now, what if I start from here? Alright, so does that mean I shift to the right? Right, I shift this one to the right. How many units? 1 pi over 12, right? I take pi over 3, I divide by 4, it will be pi over 12. So this is 1 pi over 12, 2 pi over 12, 3 pi over 12, which is pi over 4, right? So then this one should be subtract pi over 4. Now, what if I write this one in terms of cosine, but I pick different starting point? So, for example, I pick the starting points right here. Alright, so right here is going to be half of pi over 3, right? Half of pi over 3, which means pi over 3 divided by 2 is going to be pi over 6, right? Alright, so pi over 6, but if you look at this one right here, the cosine function starts from the maximum, this is the minimum, so it's going to be upside down, which is it reflects over the midline, right? So you need to put the negative side right here. Alright, so you shift to the right pi over 6 units, so this one should be subtract pi over 6, right? Now you have infinitely many solutions, right? So you can pick any points right here and you could write different sine or cosine function for this graph. And it's good time to stop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine.